goodbye. It's not black, that's what nobody tells you when you're young. Black is for the sudden ones, are the phone call, the highway, the news. Black is loud and black is clean, and black comes with a casserole and a church full of people who all know what day it happened. This is beige, this is the color of a long goodbye. It's the hallway painted Meadowbrook, it's the cardigan, it's the light through the blinds at 2:15 on the 400th Tuesday. It's the exact shade of nothing much, and it goes on for years. That's the color of a long goodbye. Nobody paints a picture of it, nobody writes it in a song, cause there's no scene in it, there's no ending you can put a curtain on. Just a woman getting quieter and a daughter getting used to it. That's the color of a long goodbye. That's the color of a long goodbye. Year one, she knew me. Year two, she knew my face, but not the name. Year three, she'd call me Margaret, which was her sister, dead in 78. Year four, she stopped asking questions, which was the worst of all of it, cause a question means you think there's something on the other side. And the whole time, the whole entire time, the world keeps needing things, the insurance and the paperwork, and my son's college and the roof. And I'd be crying in a parking lot and then go answer email, and nobody thought that I was grieving because nobody had died. That's the color of a long goodbye. Nobody paints a picture of it, nobody writes it in a song, cause there's no scene in it, there's no ending you can put a curtain on. Just a woman getting quieter and a daughter getting used to it. That's the color of a long goodbye. That's the color of a long goodbye. Here's the thing I never said out loud, and I'm gonna say it once. In year 5 I stopped wanting her to live, and I need you to understand that it's not the same as wanting her to die. It's a third thing. When she finally went in March, I felt relief before I felt anything else. And then I felt so filthy about the relief that I couldn't go to the service. My brother had to come get me out of the car in the funeral home lot, and he sat down on the curb next to me in his good suit and the wet, and he said, I felt it too. In the room when it stopped, I felt, thank God. And I've been carrying it for 6 hours, and I was gonna take it to my grave. And we sat on that curb and cried like two children, and that was the first honest minute of 5.5 years. That's the color of a long goodbye. And here's what I know now on the other side. It was not 5 years of losing her, it was 5 years of hating her. And the only way that was left of better ice cream, she liked it to the end. She'd hum sometimes, she'd hold your hand, and I had like another Tuesday, I would take another Tuesday. Lived in the glove box for 20 odd years, folded and refolded till the fold lines tore. You bought it in Orillo for $1 and change, back when we thought a map was all you'd need for a life. Now the creases have gone soft as cloth, and whole towns have vanished in the wear. There's a hole right through the place we said we'd build a house, like the paper knew before we did we'd never get there. The map is worn thin, right where we plan the most. Every road we traced with our fingers is faded down to ghosts, and I don't know how to get there, and I don't know if it's still somewhere out past the tear in the paper, past the vanished hill. The map is worn thin. You always drove and I always read, left at the water tower 2 more miles ahead. When I got it wrong, you never said a word, just turned around and started over like it hardly heard. That's the part I miss the most, I think. Not the places, just the turning back. The way you trusted me to find the way, even when I couldn't read the road. The map is worn, right where we planned the most. Every road we traced with our fingers is faded down to ghosts, and I don't know how to get there, and I don't know if it's still somewhere out past the tear in the paper, past the vanished hill. The map is worn thin. They make it easy now, a voice tells you where to go, never lets you miss a turn, never lets you not know. But nobody ever fell in love with a screen, nobody ever pulled off the road to see something that wasn't printed anywhere, something you find because you got lost getting there. So the map is worn thin, and maybe that's the proof that we went everywhere we said that we lived the whole way through. every hole in the place we loved, every tear the road we ran, and I'll keep it in the glove box. And your hand still holds my hand. Well, the map is worn thin. The map is worn thin. I don't unfold it anymore. I'm scared it'll come apart. But I touch it sometimes at a red light in the dark. Amarillo, $1, and a whole life in between, and a road that's still there somewhere. Even if I can't see, even if I can't see. Front door's got a scuff on it 3 feet off the ground from a duffel bag my brother swung the morning that he shipped. Kitchen's got a nail hole where the calendar used to hang. The day my mother left is circled twice in red. Every room in here's a leaving, every doorway is a back. I could give you the whole tour and never mention who moved in. Funny how a house remembers who walked out and not who stayed. Or maybe that's just me, maybe that's just how I've been. It's a house made of goodbyes, load bearing floor to roof. Every wall somebody's going, every beam is somebody's proof. And I keep it up, I keep it painted, I keep it standing in the pines. But there's nobody living in it. It's a house made of goodbyes. It's a house made of goodbyes. I did it too, don't get me wrong, I'm not the one who stayed. I left at 19 with a suitcase and a decent head of steam. Came back for funerals, came back for the reading of the will. Came back and never once came home, if you know what I mean. And now I'm 54 and standing in the empty living room with a realtor on the phone and a decision to be made. I opened the hall closet just to see what's still in there, and I sat down on the floor for maybe 45 minutes. It's a house made of goodbyes, load bearing floor to roof. Every wall somebody's going, every beam is somebody's proof. And I keep it up, I keep it painted, I keep it standing in the pines. But there's nobody living in it. It's a house made of goodbyes. It's a house made of goodbyes. A pencil line on the pantry door frame, 6-inch marks, step 4, step 6, step 9. My mother's careful hand. And she left us the next April, but she measured me till then. And she wrote the day beside it every time and pressed it in. And I thought about a woman getting ready to walk out, still standing there with a pencil, still saying stand up straight. And I don't forgive her, but I understand her better now. People do the small good thing right up until they can't. So it's a house made of goodbyes, and I'm not gonna sell it yet. I'm gonna move the bed downstairs, I'm gonna paint the kitchen red, and I'm gonna hang a calendar and not circle the damn thing. And I'm gonna be the one who stays here just to see what staying brings. Be a house made of warm yellow if somebody's stubborn enough to. And I cut the door frame out and framed it, hung it in the hole with 6 little pencil lines and a woman's careful scroll. And under it I wrote in pen in my own shaking hand, and I knew in my heart 54, still here, still here. And I meant it, God, I meant it, still here. There's a stretch of 41 where the pines start letting go, and the air comes through the window with a warmth that isn't yours. You feel it on your forearm about an hour past the line, and you think, I know this, I have been here, I was young. That's the part of the country I keep driving into lately. Not a town you'd find, not a mile marker, not a place. Just a certain slant of afternoon and a smell of turned red dirt. And I'm 22 again for about 100 yards. It's a little south of yesterday, where the light goes soft and long, where the radio plays something that I haven't heard since I was strong. As I know the past is closed, and I'm not asking to go back. It's just a little south of yesterday, and I like to drive out there and sit a spell. A little south of yesterday. My grandmother did this too, I understand her now. Sunday afternoon she'd say, take me out toward Waycross. And we'd drive and drive and she pointed absolutely nothing and say that was the Odom place and there'd be nothing there. And I think poor old thing, she's confused, she's lost the thread. And I was so wrong, she wasn't lost, she was visiting islands. There's a whole geography that only certain people see, and you don't get the map until the people start to go. It's a little south of yesterday, where the light goes soft and long, where the radio plays something that I haven't heard since I was strong. So the pastor shows that I'm not asking to go back. It's just a little south of yesterday. I like to drive out there and sit a spell, a little south of yesterday. My son says, Dad, there's nothing out this way. Why do we always go? And I've got about 9,000 things to tell him and no words. So I say, your grandmother's kitchen was right there where that shed is, and she'd have loved you so much it would have embarrassed you. And he goes quiet in the way that boys go quiet when it lands, and he looks out at a field with nothing in it hard, and I think, all right, there it is. Now he's got a little country too. Now he's got a place to go when he needs to. When I'm through, so it's a little south of yesterday. I'll be out there when I can, windows down, no destination, doing 80 with an open hand. And when they ask you where I went to, when the rest is all is empty, tell them all it was south of yesterday. It's a little south of yesterday. That's where all of yesterday, riding shotgun with the living, in the warm part of the dark, turn at the Baptist church, go past where the store used to be, slow down at the pines where the window would run breathe. You feel that? That's your people, son. That's your people. When they cleaned out his jacket at the home they gave me back, a folding knife, a rosary, and $11 cash. And in the left-hand pocket, wrapped in a rubber band, every toll receipt he'd kept since 1983. Ohio Turnpike, Indiana, Pennsylvania, in the snow. Little paper scraps a man was supposed to throw away. And I sat on the bed and held him, and I couldn't understand why a person saves the proof of driving somewhere. He had a pocket full of miles, that's the whole estate, that's the will. Pocket full of miles and a house I've got to sell. House I've got to sell. He never owned a thing worth keeping, never asked the world for much, just kept every little ticket from every time he showed up. A pocket full of miles. Then I read the dates and there it is, the 9th of every month, 12 times a year for 30 years, the same 3 roads, the same. That's the drive up to the facility where they kept my brother Ray. 4 hours there and 4 hours back, and he never said a word about it. Not at Christmas, not at Mama's funeral, not once. When I asked him why he seemed so tired all the time, he'd just say, been driving some, and change the subject to the weather and go out to the garage and let the quiet be his kind. He had a pocket full of miles, that's the whole estate, that's the will. A pocket full of miles and a house I've got to sell. A house I've got to sell. He never owned a thing, never asked the world to never accept it. From there he was supposed to say, and it was in his pants the whole time. Don't think there any 400 trips he never mentioned to a boy he couldn't reach. Lord, I've been that a man for not saying it while he was out there doing it every 9th of every year of my whole life. So he had a pocket full of miles, and I've got them in my hand, and I'm driving up to see Ray tomorrow, like I should have, like he did, like the man. I'll take Ohio, Indiana, I'll take everything he took, and I'll keep a little ticket never since I'll write my own damn book. Pocket full of miles, pocket full of miles, it's the best that he could look at me and say. And it's plenty, God, it's plenty all the way. There's a rubber band around the life and a road he wore down through. And the son finally gets it at 49, too late to thank him, but not too late to move, not too late to move. This one's not for the ones who stayed. There's 100 songs for them. Songs about the porch light and the kitchen and the fields.
And I've sung every one of them and meant them all the way down. And tonight I want to sing for the other half of every family. For my brother who got out at 17 and never really wrote. For the aunt nobody mentions who's in Phoenix, who's alive. For everybody with a name that comes up once at Christmas, followed by silence and a change of subject. Here's a song for the leaving kind, for the ones who couldn't make it work, who weren't cruel, who weren't cowards, who just could not get a full breath in that house. There's a reason and you'll never know it, and it isn't yours to know. Here's a song for the leaving kind. Here's a song for the leaving kind. We make it awful simple when we tell it at the table she left. He didn't come back for the funeral. He thinks he's better than us, and we get to be the good ones and the wrong ones and the true. And it's clean and it's satisfying, and it is almost never right. My brother told me once at 40 drunk on a curb in Cincinnati exactly what our father was to him, and only him, something that never happened to be in the same house, same years. And he said, I couldn't stay, and I couldn't tell you, and I couldn't let you hate him. And he chose being the villain of this family over that for 23 years, alone. Here's a song for the leaving kind, for the ones who couldn't make it work, who weren't cruel, who weren't cowards, who just could not get a full breath in that house. There's a reason and you'll never know it, and it isn't yours to know. Here's a song for the leaving kind. Here's a song for the leaving kind. So I've got a request, and it's the only one I'll make. Next time somebody at your table says a name and then goes quiet, say something decent, just a small one. Doesn't have to be a speech. I hope she's all right. I think about them, I'd take a call, because they're out there somewhere doing the exact same thing, getting quiet when your name comes up in a kitchen you'll never see. And every year the story hardens up a little more on both sides, and it takes about 9 seconds to keep a door from closing all the way. I called him on a Tuesday, 10 years of nothing, cold. And I said, I'm not asking for anything, I just want you to have my number in case there's ever a day. And he cried, grown man, 48, on the phone. And he said, nobody's ever once said that to me. Nobody had. In 23 years, nobody had. Here's a song for the leaving kind. There's a chair at the table, and nobody's gonna make you take it. And nobody's gonna move out of the room, come across the door, come in 9 years or never. But the light's on and the number's good. You were never the villain here. A song for the leaving kind. He never talked, I wanna start there so you understand. Not cruel, not cold, just a man with the volume turned all the way down. 40 years of the same 11 sentences at supper, and me across the table wanting something, anything more. So when the doctor said no more driving and the car keys went to me, and somebody had to get him from Ohio out to Reno, where my sister had a room for him in a hospital nearby, I said I'd do it, and I dreaded it for 3 entire weeks. 1,000 quiet miles, just the two of us in the road. He didn't want the radio, and I didn't have the nerve to put it on. Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, in about 4 sentences a state. 1,000 quiet miles. Day one, I nearly lost my mind, I'll be honest about that. I tried every conversation I've been saving up since childhood. And you ever think about Dad? Do you remember me? And it's like you said, I'm going to keep on going. Day two, I quit. I just quit. I stopped trying to make it be anything. Somewhere out past Kearney, I let the quiet just be quiet, and it changed. I can't explain it. It went from empty to full, like sitting with somebody instead of waiting on them. 1,000 quiet miles, just the two of us on the road. He didn't want the radio, and I didn't have the nerve to put it on. Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, in about 4 sentences a state. 1,000 quiet miles. Third afternoon in Wyoming, the light came down enormous, the gold that lays across the sage like it's been poured out of something. And I looked over, and he was just a-looking, fully looking, mouth a little open, hands loose, 60 years of tension gone. And he said, without turning his head, your mother would have liked this. And I said, yeah, she would have. And he said, I should have took her, and that was all. That was the whole of it. 2 lines. And I understood more about my father in those 9 seconds than in the 46 years previous. And I didn't say a word, because I finally knew better than to say a word. 1,000 quiet miles, got him there on a Sunday evening. My sister came out on the steps, and he said, well, and got out of the car. And he lived 11 months in Reno. And I flew out twice, and we didn't talk, and it was fine.
I don't anymore. Some men give you what they've got in a car in Wyoming and the gold your mother would have liked this. I should have took her. That's a whole man. That's my whole father. And I've got him. It's not the storm that scares me. I want that on the record. I've been through 4 of them that took the roof off our buildings. I can read a sky, I can call it an hour out. I know where to put the kids. The storm's the easy part and you've got something to do. It's the after, it's about 6:15 when it's rolled off east. And the sun comes back out sideways and everything is dripping. And the birds start up again like nothing ever happened. And you walk out in the yard and see what you've got left. After the thunder rolls away, it's when it gets you. Standing in the wet grass and the cold, looking at what's down and what's still up. There's no adrenaline to spend and there's nobody left to call. After the thunder rolls away, after the thunder rolls away. Same with the year my wife left. Everybody was so good during. There were casseroles and phone calls and my sister. And I was busy at lawyers' boxes telling people being brave. And I got through it like a man gets through a hailstorm, which is badly but through. Then in about the 4th month, everybody stopped checking because the storm was over. Cause I looked okay because life. And I sat down on the floor of that half-empty house on a Tuesday. And that's when it took me. That's exactly when it took me. After the thunder rolls away, that's when it gets you. Standing in the wet grass and the cold, looking at what's down, what's still up. There's no adrenaline to spend and there's nobody left to call. After the thunder rolls away, after the thunder rolls away. 6:15, birds going, everything dripping. Chainsaw in the truck bed and 2 coffees in the cuff holder. And a woman on a back step who hasn't stood up in an hour, pulling slow. Went white as bone, took the Petersons, the schoolhouse, and the barn my grand had raised. We stood down at the county line and watched the whole thing go, and nobody said a word for maybe half an hour. I remember how the sky looked of that awful gorgeous red. I remember how my father's hands just hung there at his sides, and how the deputy kept saying it's just things, it's only things, and how my mother turned and said you've never had a life. There's ashes on the ridge line where the Ponderosa stood, 90 years of shade and shelter. Gone in one bad afternoon and the sun comes up so ugly now on a country stripped and plain, and we're standing in the black of it, waiting on the rain. Ashes on the ridge line, ashes on the ridge line. We stayed, don't ask me why, there wasn't much of a reason. Insurance covered nothing and the well came up with ash. My father raked the yard for weeks like it would make a difference. Like a man can sweep a mountain, like grief can be a task. And I hated him for staying and I hated more for leaving. And I went off to the city and I didn't call for years. And every time somebody asked me where I came from, I'd say nowhere much and change the subject fast. There's ashes on the ridge line where the Ponderosa stood, 90 years of shade and shelter. Gone in one bad afternoon and the sun comes up so ugly now on a country stripped and plain, and we're we're standing in the black of it, waiting on the rain. Ashes on the ridgeline, ashes on the ridgeline. I drove back up last April, first time in 17 years, and I got out at the switchback where the view breaks open wide. And I had it in my head that I would find it black and dead, and I stood there like a fool and I just cried. Cause it's greener, God, it's greener in a wall of little pines, waist high and wild and crowded, coming up in every line. They say the guns ain't fire to open, that's a thing I never knew, but the burning is the planet and it's true. So there's ashes on the ridgeline, underneath the growing green, and my father's in the ground now, and the mountains coming clean, and I've got suit and my inheritance and seeds in it as well. And I'm learning what a country learns, that we come back after hell. Ashes on the ridgeline, ashes on the ridgeline, and 1,000 little trees that the fire had to free. I brought a handful home in a coffee can, black and fine, put it in the garden by the fence where the light comes through the vine, just to have a piece of what it costs and a piece of what survives. Ashes on the ridgeline, and still alive. Back when the fields were green, the Hutchins place went first, then the Darlings, then the school, then the co-op and the diner and the pharmacy on Main. And every year the auction sign came up on somebody's fence, and every year we told each other it was just bad luck. But it wasn't luck, we knew that, we knew it in our bones. It was contracts and commodity and men in another state. And we kept our heads down farming like the ground would settle it, and the ground did what the ground does, which is nothing, which is way back when the fields were green. And there were 40 families on this road, kids at the bus stop, lights in the windows, somebody always coming down to help you haul a load. Now it's one big operation and a manager who lives in town, and the fields are still green, I guess, and they're just nobody's fields now. Back when the fields were green. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you it was paradise. We were broken, we were narrow, and the winters nearly killed us. And half the men I grew up with drank themselves to nothing, and nobody talked about a thing, and that cost us plenty too. But there was a Wednesday supper, a fire department picnic, and when the Millers lost their boy, the whole road planted for them, free, all of it, 200 acres in 4 days. And nobody said a word about it then or ever after, back when the fields were green. And there were 40 families on this road, kids at the bus stop, lights in the windows, somebody always coming down to help you haul a load. Now it's one big operation and a manager who lives in town, and the fields are still green, I guess, and they're just nobody's fields now. Back when the fields were green. My daughter came home last spring from Columbus with a plan, 20 acres, vegetables, to stand up by the road, and I laughed at her. I'm ashamed of it. Well, I laughed right in her face, and honey, there's no limit. I would know, I tried. And she said, Dad, I'm not trying to make a living, I'm trying to make a place. And that stopped me. That stopped me cold, because that's the thing we lost, and I never had the words. It was never about the money, it was never about the corn. It was 40 houses in a row and somebody knowing when you're born. So the fields are getting green again on 20 acres, more or less. And she's standing up by the mailbox, and she's making about love, and she couldn't care less. And the Dolan's grandkid comes to help her, and there's music out there Fridays, and there's 12, 15 cars some evenings on a road that had gone quiet. Back when the fields were green. Maybe green comes back around, maybe it don't stay gone forever, maybe it just goes to ground. I'm 78 and hauling crates, bad hip and all, out in the sun. And she says, Dad, sit down. And I say, not likely. And she laughs like her grandmother. And the road's got lights in the windows again. Just a couple. Just a...